Hey guys, this is Blake from Blake's Sanctum, retro site for retro games. Subscribe.
Welcome to another episode of my video series of how to play classic civilization genre games like Colonization, Master of Magic, Test of Time, Alpha Centauri, Call to Power, and of course the Civ series itself in HD, using either special versions, tricks, or mods. I'll also be doing bonus videos in this series touring some of the awesome fan games and my favourite scenarios and mods for all these games, while also trying to sneakily play as the barbarians via hacks or cheats. Check out the playlist link up top or in the video description and comments below to see the other episodes. Hey guys, this is another episode of my video series about how to play Microprose, Firaxis and Activision turn-based strategy classics like the early Civilization games, Colonization, Master of Magic and Call to Power in modern HD resolutions. And this is my Master of Magic HD tour video. And now to run this special version, I need to run a couple of bat files. One sets up a server, and then the other one starts the game. Now, unlike Civilization 1 and Colonization, which had nice scalable Windows re-releases from Microprose back in the day, they never did a Master of Magic one. And also, unlike those other games, Master of Magic has sadly never had a remake or sequel either, unless you count the Japanese Master of Magic PlayStation remake, Civizard. So naturally, many fans have tried to do what Microprose didn't do, and remake the game for Windows themselves, but none of them got all that far. However, by far the most complete project that I've ever seen is this, the open source Java fan-made Master of Magic Implode's Multiplayer Edition. Now before I show you this game's awesome HD graphics and gameplay and features, I want to give some background about the author of this open source project, its current state, and why it really needs help from us fans, not to mention some good Java programmers. So if you haven't got the time or the patience to hear what I have to say and just want to get straight to the gameplay footage, then I'll put some time skip links in the video description that you can use. Now this project is a huge remake project that started all the way back in 2004 and somehow just kept going without suffering the usual fan project failures. Now back in 2015 I tried Implode's latest demo at the time and made some videos that I released in 2016 where I played a longish game as Ryjack on Arcanus and then as Cesara on the Dark Mirror World, which I'll link to above on a card. I was utterly blown away with the game and had a lot of fun. The videos have been quite popular too, with thousands of hits. Implode released several more versions during that time it took me to upload the videos, adding like even more features that you wouldn't see in those old videos, such as heroes and artifacts and advisor screens and the mini-map and more spells and just, you know, so much more stuff. In fact, I can show you, because I've got Implode's changes list. So you can actually see that he's really good with his documentation, so you can actually see the history going right back to 2004, his first versions, all the way up to the ones that I played in 2015 and released in 2016. As you can see, this is what I was talking about, where he actually worked on multiple versions throughout late 2015, early 2016, until the current version here. So as you can see, sadly, he stopped working on it just around the time I released the videos, which was really great timing. And Implode, or Nigel was his real name I think, he pretty much went AWOL, or MIA. You know, he disappeared completely from his forums and his SourceForge page. You know, I'd been chatting with him over email about my videos and his game and trying to help him get some more fan attention and helpers, as you know, he wanted some. He hadn't been getting much support. And you know, he'd been really friendly, but then he just stopped replying there too. He just disappeared. So you know, I was worried he'd been hit by a bus or something. But then he snuck onto his SourceForge page, which you can either access by searching for Master of Magic IME on Google, or you can use my website, Blake's Sanctum, where I've attributed Master of Magic and many of the similar games out there, and of course the awesome fan projects. And I've got a tribute page to his project just here. and you can see my original 2015-16 videos below there, and soon I'll be adding this one here. And if you go here, you'll see that there's a link to the sourceforge page, but I've already got one loaded. So anyway, yeah, you can see here that Nigel actually worked on, sort of snuck on and did a bit of work over he came on there in 2017 and in 2018 and did a little bit of work implying that the project wasn't dead and that he still might work on it. And I spoke to a few of the older members at his forum, and they said that over those 15 or so years that he was working on the project, he would occasionally take big breaks. In fact, you can even see a huge one back here in 2008 where it looks like there's a big break between that and 2014. So we can hope that that's what he's doing now, but I don't know. So this is if you want to download and try out his latest demo, you can do that here. But you can also, because it's open source, you can go and get the code. And so you just go here, download snapshot, wait for a bit for it to generate. It might take a while, and then you can if you're good with Java and you're a Master Magic fan, please feel free to come along and help out, because I don't know if Implode will ever come back. And this project is it's so far along. I mean, it's incredible how much he's got done versus what's left to do. Basically the worlds, the map generating, the races, the units, most of the spells, abilities, heroes, artifacts, it's all there. And it's such a shame, because in his final emails to me and in this to-do list, he said that he was just about to start work on the global AI that works out building units and buildings and cities and finding more cities and casting spells and all that kind of stuff, because right now there's just sort of a basic combat AI that will fight you back, so you can go out there and fight lots of monsters around the world, and of course humans can play good multiplayer games with the current version, but if you want to play a single player game against a bunch of AIs, unfortunately they're not going to do much, which is such a shame, because if he'd just done this part before taking a break, we'd have something far better to play around with. But after the AI, it's just sort of polishing, really, adding those final spells and lots of testing and just making things nicer, and buttons here and there working better, and just little things like that. I mean, this massive, incredibly complicated game is probably, I don't know, 3/4 done, maybe, after you put nearly 15 years into it. It's such a shame. So we can only hope that he comes back, or someone comes along who's good with Java and sees it's open source and goes, hey, I can help out with this. So anyway, let's get on with the tour, shall we? Alright, so let's get things going. Now, to start a new game, you got to go here and do local PC. So that's why I had that little server bat file. I'm going to act as the server and the player connecting to it. And we'll just start a new one here instead of loading up one of my old ones. Just call it video. And this might all seem a bit weird for a single player, but this game was primarily designed to be a multiplayer remake, and so that's sort of why he's done this stuff. But if you forget your password, don't worry, it's all sitting in an XML file in a user registry folder in the game folder. So hit OK. Oh, this is a new account. And hit OK. And now we can start a new game. And that's also what you do, is you log into your login to load games later on as well. So new game, and presumably there'll be customized rule sets at some point, but right now it's using original Master Magic 1.31 rules. And here's where you can set how many players are in the game. Now this is one of the coolest features. Original Master Magic was limited to 4 wizards plus you. Whereas in here you can go to, basically he has added every single wizard in the game as another player, so that's a total of 14 players. So obviously there's no humans in this game, so I'm going to go up to the maximum. 13 opponents. How about that? Can you imagine that? A Master of Magic game on a big world against 13. It's going to be so much fun. And we've got to go big. So yep, that's the biggest one. And he's added some extra customization, so you can actually really play around with this stuff if you really want to. But up for the quickness, of this video, I'm just going to leave it as is. You can play with the land proportions, of course. Powerful nodes, impossible difficulty. Turn system, one player at a time. So it looks like he's also got a simultaneous thing similar to Age of Wonders. But we'll go with traditional. Fog of War, leave all that. Yep. No debug options, and you've got to give the game a name because then it'll sort of categorize that under your login, so you can have multiple games under the same login. So we'll call this video 1. Hit OK. Oh, and don't worry guys, this will go full screen HD as soon as we start the game. It's just this traditional interface that's sitting in a tiny window. Now, how about we do our new game, because I'm going to load some save games that show you much more cool stuff, but to start, just for fun, let's start on the Myrran Mirror World, the Dark World. So to do that we'll need Cesar, or we'd need to do a customizer hero, which you can do in this. There we go, Myrran. And just like in the original game, we can pick our spells, and you've got great information. Of course, you can right click on them and it'll tell you what they are and what they do. None of this particularly matters right now. Yeah, sure. Okay. And we can select some chaos spells. Got to have a good old firebolt and a wall of fire around our cities. That was always a favourite of mine. Get some hellhounds. Now we have access to the Myrran races, and my favourite race was always the Dark Elves. I loved playing as them, so we'll go with them. Here we go. So now I hit this and send to the view, and look at that. We're now playing Master of Magic in HD. So as you can see, he's using all the original graphics, so it doesn't feel like the game's been messed with too much. Now, I'm on a 46-inch screen, so this still looks pretty good, but I realise most of you are probably not. You're probably on a phone or a laptop, and you're going, oh god, I can't see a thing. So don't worry, we have zoom control. So I'm going to go into max zoom, which is, not too far off the original game, but still a hell of a lot bigger. You can still see a hell of a lot more at this zoom than you ever could in the original game. So hopefully you guys will all be happier with that. So let me see. As you can see, we've got our lovely starting city, and he's got a beautiful combination of a sort of stretched, enlarged graphics, but also nice, sharp HD kind of like, pixel perfect stuff as well. It all works in nicely. Like, those buildings are beautiful and sharp, as do the resources. We've got our little starting army here that we can send out, so I might split them up, and you can go out here and you can go out here. Have a look around at the local area, and we should probably tell our city to build something. So as you can see, just like in the original game, it does all the nice little animating buildings and units, and I think this is the original unit size, but I'm looking forward to showing you guys the combat screen, because he's done some really cool tricks that basically result in the armies being about 4 times in size, and but also makes them smaller compared to the super monsters, which makes the monsters look a lot scarier. So there's all lots of cool little improvements. So we'll just set it to build out so we can get some cavalry. And now you're not allowed to end the turn. You can't end the turn because you must choose a spell to begin researching. He didn't used to have this warning, so you'd trip over it and you'd be like, what the hell? But I remember talking with him about this, and he put it in. So goes through the spells we have, but then we can get to the research area. So holy weapon, research that, hit the close button and see how the next turn button's unlocked now. There we go. So we move around a bit more. Ooh, what is that? Look at that. Now, different to the original game, you can actually see into the unit stacks and see what's going on. You used to just get a warning going, do you want to visit this area, yes or no, and you wouldn't find out what's in there until you went in there. I mean, we discussed this, and apparently it's difficult for him to implement, stuff that hides them and makes the screen come up. But I'm sure it would have been possible eventually if, with just more help and stuff. But nevertheless, as you can see, he's added other features that we know and come to enjoy in more modern civilization-like games, like Empire Territory. So this will, of course, as you build more cities, you'll end up with this beautiful green empire border. And I've also activated, like, you can go into the custom settings here that he's set up. You can smooth everything if you're moving between stuff. So like if I hit the smooth and on, see how it's sort of smoothed everything over, which sort of can look nicer between some of these zooms. But I decided I didn't really like it that much, so I turned it off. And let me see. So you got also the field of sight radius, which you have in modern games, which is basically once we're outside, we should get some darkened areas. There we go. See that? So it's out of our sight radius. So they've added that, which of course is something we enjoy in modern games. So we've got smooth edges on terrain, smooth invisible area, border of territory that we control. That's what I was just talking about. Border of territory that other wizards control. Oh yes. Wizard hero portraits. Yep, that's fine. I think these are just debug options. I think I accidentally left that one on. And shall I go in here and get us killed? This should be fun, because I'm going to load a save game anyway. Oh, we're so dead! Wow. And what I loved about the Dark Elves, of course, is that every single one of the units had a range attack, and they ended up like later on with super powerful range units and nightmares, flying horses of fiery death. And they were really fun to play as. Oh wow, yeah, no, I totally did good then. So he dead. So so let's load a save game so I can get into show you more stuff in the cities and the empire management stuff, because there's not going to be much to show you with this one. So to load a save game, you've got to go back to the connector server, local PC, and then you've got to type in your login. Of course, you think I could remember my one from years ago? No. But thankfully, like I said before, you can load that lovely XML file, which will tell you what all the users are that have previously used your copy. Not a new account. I don't want to boot anyone off because there's no one currently playing the game. Hit OK. And now, we can either start a new game under my old username, or I can load a save game. And I did a couple. These, of course, the two different ones I did for my video back in 2015. So how about we load the first one, select, and then it saves every turn, auto saves every turn. Currently there are no manual saving options yet. So just grab the newest one, hit load. Go. So this was the game I played years ago. As you can see, I got a fair way into it, so we'll zoom in. That's looking good. So I built a few cities, some coastal stuff, so I could build a boat. And as you can see, I've developed the capital a fair bit. It's got some nice city walls and a number of buildings. As you can see, it's not, all sorts of cool stuff going on here. In fact, come to think of it, I can't even remember. Maybe these. I'm trying to remember if these actually did animate in the original Master of Magic. I can't remember now. Maybe they didn't, which means this is another cool feature. But if they did, then good on him for continuing it. But yeah, I love the detail. It looks absolutely beautiful, and loving the green of Arcanus, seeing all that again. But of course, being able to see so much more of the world, it's amazing. Great for strategy. You can see there's a few enemy wizards nearby, and you can see their territory. You can see my territories all sort of merging around my cities. There's some nasty beasts nearby. All these spiders, giant spiders, and like shadow demons. nasty things. And of course we've got my army here. Some swordsmen and some archers and things. Looks like the stats aren't working properly. Normally you get a picture and some things here, but I think that's a bug. Sadly there's some bugs with loading save games from older versions. So, you know, if I'd loaded the save game from the game I was just playing in front of you guys before, that wouldn't be suffering these problems. So sorry about that. But you know, I wanted to show you a save game from, you know, later on in the game where I can show you more of the world and stuff. So we'll just have to put up with the bugs. But funnily enough, he actually implemented better save game functions so that save games will work better between new versions. But unfortunately he implemented that right after I played my two games in this older version. So yeah, I'm sure if I had played it in his newer version all those years ago, I would be subjected to these bugs. But like, I can't move the guys either. I don't think they won't move. Yeah, they won't do anything. But I'm gonna do it. I want to show you guys a big battle. So what I'll do is I still have the old version, so I'll just quickly load that up, send them in, and then you guys get to watch a big exciting battle, because we can't deny you that, can we? But before we do that, let's show you all the interface stuff. So the game menu doesn't do anything at the moment. You've seen the spells, but I may as well go there again because this is a different, playing as a different dude. As you can see, I've got some interesting, I think I'm playing as Ryjack, so I've got lots of nasty spells. And I've got armies, like this wasn't here back in the version I played, so now I can look up my units. I don't think the stats are working quite properly there either, sadly, but nevertheless, you can see where everyone are. You've got the mini-map flashing where the army is, just like in the original game. We've got an item screen where you can, you know, we've got alchemy. Look at this. So he's got all that done now. I don't think any of that was there in my older version, or at least it was barely working. And sadly I don't think heroes were fully implemented. I think maybe you might have been able to summon them manually, I think, in this version, but I didn't get to that stage, so I had no heroes to show you. But they were heavily worked on in the versions after I played this game. But now they can carry artifacts and all kinds of cool stuff. Cast spells from their own spell pool. There's another one I know he did after this version, but yeah. I'll have a quick look at some of our other cities as well. I forgot to do that. Looks like I was busy building buildings in a few of them. And I built my harbour and built a ship from here, which I sent out there. But well, let me see. Cities. I don't think this was working either. And you can change what they're constructing. You can go into them. Very cool that he got that working. Magic is where, of course, you're setting your research priorities and your overland chance, and he sort of separated the diplomacy. I think that's handled elsewhere now. The plane, of course, is switching between the planes, but we haven't been to the other one. Messages is obviously your turn messages, which is very handy. It'll let you know what's happened that turn, and you can click on things in there and it'll take you to the town, so that'll work good. And of course chat for your multiplayer games, which is not properly implemented from the looks of things, or it's deactivated because I'm not in a multiplayer game, not entirely sure. You guys of course have seen his little configuration menu here. There's another one here which of course gets you to your lovely advisors. So the surveyor cartographer guy, sort of whatever he's called, surveyor, he's working, so you can get the stats off all the, over there in the top right you can see the stats for each of the terrain and what they do, just like in the original game. We've got the cartographer, so that's like, I think that shows you a map. Sadly that's not working yet. And of course, like I said before, he got the mini-map working. Like in the older version, if you look at the videos of what I played a few years ago, this was just a big green box. There was nothing in there, so it's nice that he implemented that. And of course, in the next version, I think he was going to put that nice viewing box to show you where you are on the mini-map, but yeah, sadly we didn't get that far. Apprentice, queued overland spells. That's actually a double up currently of the other thing, so we should see what his final plans would have been for that. The historian doesn't work, astrologer doesn't work, chancellor doesn't work, tax collector, he works. The grand visor doesn't work, and the wizards. Look at that, isn't this, can you just imagine what it'd be like to play a game, 14 players in total, 13 rivals, across a big world. It'd just be such an action-packed, exciting game. Just imagine all the spells being cast. It'd be really exciting. It'd just be the ultimate Master of Magic experience if this game could just be finished. So I don't know if you can do anything. I can look at her stats, but I don't think I can talk to anyone. I don't think that's implemented yet. Diplomacy, sadly. Or if it is, I have to meet them maybe. Maybe I haven't met them, but I think I've met them. Yeah, I mean, I'm right next to this guy. Look how the books change when I click on them. So it looks like, I can't do anything. So yeah, no diplomacy implemented, but nevertheless you can see them and look at their stats and stuff. Of course, all this stuff works, talking about what you're making each turn. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, quite a lot is done, quite a lot is working, but obviously there's still, a decent amount of issues left to be resolved, meaning, you guys we can't really play a proper game with this version, but you can certainly mess around a lot, which is, why it's such a shame that it's currently technically abandoned, but like I said before, it's open source, so anyone with some Java programming skills and a love of Master of Magic could pick this up and start playing with it. You could fork it or slap it onto GitHub or whatever, and just have a go at it and see if you can pick up where Implode left off. And all its settings are stored in easily accessible XML files that even someone like me can go in and play around with the settings in. But let's before I wrap this up, let's load one more save game where I actually played over on Myrran again, on the Mirror World, and I had some fun there. But before I do that, we've got to have a battle, don't we? So let's do that. So these guys, grab the army, center it, and then we'll go in for the battle in the older version. Okay, so we're in the older version now, ready to attack. Unit stats are working properly again. As you can see, I got some nice little bonuses and things. Very nice. Let's go in. Ooh, look at this. City battle. And this is what I love. I love how they look like massive armies of troops. And as you can imagine, when you're fighting a monster, it just looks ridiculous because the monsters, obviously fill one entire square, so they look huge compared to it. Although, actually, judging by the animations that I've seen in the newer version, I think he actually might have shrunk the unit amount back down again. Still more than the original game, but I think they were a little bigger again. But I don't know, I kind of like this original one where the armies are really small, but nevertheless, let's unleash hell. So I've got, these are swordsmen, so I'll move them forward, and these are my bowmen, so let's open fire. Let's get these guys. Ooh yeah, thinning them out. Nice. Now there's lovely cavalry here. Go this way. You can go this way. I want to go for you. We'll see about that. Thin out the herd a bit. Yeah. I'm still going to let them come to me, I think. So, done. Done. Ah! How dare you try to outflank me. Yeah. No. Fine, I'll go behind them. Of course, this is just giving me more and more shots at them. Now I'm going to get you. You will not get to my archers today. Yeah, got him. Now you are surrounded. Got him. Do you wish to destroy the city? Raise? No. I want to capture it. Yay! Oh, and there's my ship out there in the water, discovering new unknown lands. So now, let's load my last save game where I was on the Myrran world, where I was about to go into battle there as well. Here we go, here's my other save game, where I'd played for a number of turns to end my original video series. So I was playing as the Dark Elves on the Myrran world again, just like I did at the start of this video. And yeah, I came across something terrifying. Look at all these great drakes, just as terrifying as they used to be. In fact, if not more terrifying when you see my army go into battle with them, and the size difference. See, look at that. The size difference. They look way scarier than they did before. And I find it seems more realistic to have this massive army, you know, going up against this giant beast. I massively prefer that over the original. But, you know, like I said, I think in the newer version he might have actually made these guys a bit bigger and blockier again, so they look a bit better, I guess, against these blocky guys. But I don't know. I think I actually prefer this way. But not that it matters a lot now. I mean, if Implode never works on it again, yeah. Anyway, let's fire our useless one range attack fire bolts from our spearmen. This is, needs to say, I'm not even going to do 1 point of damage probably. It'll be pretty funny. Oh, and look at this, he's actually got status effects working as well, and you can look at what they are, so it's very cool that that's all working and implemented. Time to die. No, it looks like I'll die next turn. I mean, even if it was just these guys, like, I'm a dead man, like, I don't stand a chance. You'd need an amazing army to bring this down. Some beautiful heroes, that's what you'd need. Really powerful, leveled up heroes. Resistance is futile. Watch them all disappear under the flame. Isn't that nice? You have been defeated. But I'm still alive, damn it. Ooh, look at these guys. Ooh, nasty. Angels. Ah, okay guys, I think that's probably enough for this tour of his latest and possibly final version. If you actually want to see more gameplay, me actually playing through the turns, building buildings and doing stuff, then I recommend you check out my original videos from a few years back, where I actually created these save games by playing away, which I'll put links to at the top. And like I said before, if you're a Master of Magic fan, programmer, you know some Java, then please drop by the SourceForge page and have a play with the code, lodge some tickets, or fork it out and have a go and try and do some stuff yourself. Or if you're just another fan like me, then at least you still have the power of your word. You can go out there and spread the news that this exists, because so many people do not know that this exists. So get out there, post in the retro gaming forums, hey, any Master Magic fans here? Well, guess what? There is an amazing game out there. And I think part of the problem why so many people don't know about this is the fact that it's got a funny name. Like, you look at you've got free Civ for the Civilization fans, you've got free Col for the colonization plans, you've got OpenRA for the Command and Conquer fans, and OpenIG for the Imperium Galactica fans. If this project had been called Open MoM or Free MoM, I suspect it would have attracted a lot more attention. I can only imagine how many times people who might have known about one of the other projects typed in Open MoM or Free MoM into Google and got nothing. Because who's going to type in Implode's multiplayer edition unless they already know about its existence? So hindsight's a wonderful thing. Obviously, maybe I could have easily made the same mistake, and I think maybe he should consider renaming it to that if the project ever gets brought back to life, because it's essentially the same thing. It is an open source remake of the original game, intending to be pretty much the most a really accurate one-to-one kind of remake of it, just with nice modern resolutions and multiplayer. So if a new team did pick this up, that is a name I suggest. But yeah, anyway, so it's just such a shame. Like, I mean, Master of Magic is such a great game, a very popular game, yet somehow out of all the different Civilization genre spin-off games, it's the only one that never got an official sequel or remake, unless you count the Japanese PlayStation one, which isn't really, it's more of a quick conversion only a year or so later after Master Magic came out, so it's not that much more advanced. You know, all these unfinished fan projects, because there's just no big united team project out there. And you know, there's just a few spiritual sequels where other companies have made games like Age of Wonders and the Elemental Chantress series from Stardock, the Warlock games and the Endless Legend game, you know, and more out there that you know, obviously they were designed by people who were fans of Master Magic, probably couldn't, you know, wrestle the license from Atari, so they had to make their own name and then do things to make it different and unique. And so, you know, here we are, 2019, Master Magic fans still don't have a remake or a sequel. So, you know, and even if it's someone, you know, I noticed the other day, I've been posting about it in the forums and groups, that Atari, who went bankrupt, seemed to have sort of lost the license. Someone else had it for a while. Atari now in 2019 have just bought it back. They've applied the trademark and got it back again. Now, is that because they're planning on doing a new Master of Magic game? Because they have been involved in some retro stuff lately with the Blood remake on, and you know, they got their hands on a number of other things too. Or are they just simply reacquiring old licenses that used to belong to them so they can sit on them again? I don't know. I can only hope they plan to do something. But even if they do, it's probably not going to be the same game, you know. It'll be probably something quite different in 3D or God knows what. So, you know, I really, you know, fans want to play the original Master of Magic in HD resolutions and multiplayer. You know, the work, so much of the work is already done with this project. So, you know, God, I cannot say enough. You know, if you're fans, you know, spread the word. If you're a talented programming fan, then come and help out, please. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let's all cross our fingers that maybe Implode will come back, or some people will come along and rescue this great old project. And you know, this video is part of a big series I'm doing where I'm showing you all the old games like Civ and Colonization, and the sequels, Civ 2, Civ 3, and some of the other spin-offs like Alpha Centauri and Call to Power, Test of Time, all that kind of. I'm going to show you how to play them all in HD, and I'm also playing some of my favourite scenarios, and including some of the mods of Savegame, the very Master of Magic inspired. So I'll be doing some tours of them, and some of the other fan games like Free Coal and Free Civ, and also be trying to play as the Barbarians in as many games as I can. So I hope you check out my other videos. Just check out the playlist link that'll be in the description in the comments to get you to all those other videos. And yeah, I think that's it. Bye.